being like, yeah, that's kind of slightly
I've gotten
annoying
straight up
occasionally.
fucking anonymous warnings, dude, and I just respond like, "Hey, man, I'm old enough to choose my own friends, bro."
It's
Like,
there
just
you
like
go. It's legit an 80-20 split. It's 80% me just getting off on being so powerful. And then I'll give them this. There's 20%, like there's times where you go, Jesus, them again. Like it's like the way where you have like other responsibilities in life where you go, oh fuck, I gotta do this today. I forgot I even have to do it. Like they've become like the gym to me where you go, I gotta go do this for a little bit. But like I'm also looking better and feeling better. So you just go, yeah, I don't care. But yeah, it is I they don't understand that I enjoy more of this than I hate it because I'm like I've made you stop your lot. Dude, honest, I'll give can I do this? Can I begrudgingly give
I don't give a
Pod
fuck.
Awful?
Go ahead. I don't give a shit what you
Can
do.
I give Pod Awful some credit? And this will be one
yeah,
of
I
the
think that would be. I think that might be a good thing to build some bridges and maybe end this trouble.
I'm not just hear me out on this. There's going to be a
Trying to build
caveat to it,
karma.
AP.
Those are always good.
Pod Awful is capable of being a funny guy. He's capable of running a good show. His psychosis doesn't like he spent 2 years where he could have been building his brand jihading against Dick Masterson. Dick Masterson is still doing very well. Trust me, I was at the blackjack tables with him last month. I lasted longer than him and I performed way better than him, but I watched him keep buying chips. And let me tell you, Dick Masterson's doing just fine. Now he's jihading against me. Again, I was at the blackjack tables with Dick Masterson. And I adopted a cat when I came home. We're doing fine. The point being is that, like, when you start to become Captain Ahab in these situations and you start jumping over the boat to get at the whale,
Yeah.
and at the expense of your own shit. Now imagine if Captain Ahab spent every day for 2 years jumping over the boat, right? After a while, you'd go, nigga, you jumped off this boat like 50 times. And every time you jump off,
Nigga,
you
we got a boat.
fucking owned. Like the last time you jumped off this boat, the great white whale Moby Dick took $376 of your money and you're living at your parents' house. You gotta stop, dude. And you just keep jumping off the boat and jumping off the boat. It becomes to a point where you go, all right, like, why I like what we do is because you, me, Virgee, JJ, Royce, everybody, like, we goof on people, but none of it has ever been to the point where you go, wow, AP is really consumed by Mary.
No,
That nobody thinks that. It's
Yeah.
your
No,
make.
that's been that's been
But
said.
well, by her. I'm saying by anybody with a fucking half a brain.
Most people don't, but I've gotten some comments. Everybody gets it. You always got some people that don't like what they're seeing, so they tell you.
Yeah, okay, a very small minority though. Right.
I had one guy the other day because I did one James Clark video, and he was just like, "Bye, AP." I was like, after like years of him watching, and I'm like, "Are you?" He's like, "This channel has just turned into bottom feeding drama," and I'm like, I do a show on the live channel 3 nights a week. Like this, he doesn't know about the live channel, so he just knows like the first thing he saw to the Adonis Paul channel in forever was Mayo and then James Clark. But I'm only putting it there because my other channel has a strike. I can't upload.
Yeah,
Not Mayo. Mayo's the main feature. That goes on the big channel.
But tune into AP's live show, and all due respect to you, AP, I don't mean to insult you, but like tune into AP show live. It's just bottom feeding drama with a lot of great production, right? Like, so you got
I count on that.
And then segments. So you're like, oh, I'm being distracted from the fact that really at the core of this whole thing, it's bottom feeding.
I hate at the core of this. I hate trannies. I'm mad at the black community.
Yeah, welcome.
And the only woman I can tolerate is now my ex-wife for some reason, who's becoming super cool. And Leaf, who will be eventually, if she plays her card right, a waifu and present.
Yeah. And people wonder why me and AP why we won't turn on each other, and that's why, because we're the same guy. It's
Yeah,
just because
there's
we
a lot
know
of
what we
similarities
are in
there.
life, and even when you're trying to insult us on your way out the door. So what are you, just some bottom feeding Jerry Springer of the internet? And you're like,
Yeah.
yes, but with
Fuck
really, snazzy cartoon stingers.
Yeah.
Goodbye, sir. So like they try to turn this thing against you, and you go, well, no, I'm good at that. This is fun.
Well, I said it the other day. The funny thing to me was I had people like Alan Powell coming at me, right? And I'm like, and they're like trying to turn me on and make me despise you, and at the same time they're being dicks to me. And I'm like, so all you've done is convince me that you're exactly the dickhead that JJ Stoner said you were. In the end, man, you probably could have
Yeah,
just
dude.
approached me like a fucking you weren't some kind of spurg, and maybe I would have heard you out. But you came at me first like, you do the same show as Nightwave, and I'm like, our shows are not even remotely fucking similar shows.
No.
And then he
No.
says, you started doing the your bits. He tried to say I was derivative of Nightwave, and I was like, I've been doing that show since before I knew what Nightwave radio was. They're nothing alike on top of that. And they just kept repeating himself, like, no, but still, you're just Mersh's
It
little
sounds
bit.
like they mixed up their notebook of insults for you and me, because like
It was very strange that somebody was
that
taking
they
that
could have
much
said
of
that
it
to me. They could have just been
Yeah.
like, "You're derivative." Yeah, but like we're all derivative of like
You're
that
part of the
same.
Mersh effect, dude.
Yeah, it's what it is. What it is. I mean, but it's
I'm
like
just happy to be
we
mentioned
all
without being insulted, man. Like that's cool.
everything's
Like,
fucking derivative. That's so fucking. It's such a dumb insult for anything. It's
But
like,
I
yeah,
brought
fucking, yeah, we're doing the same thing that people have always done on the internet, laughing at retards.
a lot lately
But I
about getting
but I
away
brought
from
up
James
there.
Clark and Adrastia shit, and
I
it's
brought up.
reminding me a lot of internet blood sports in those days, and
Yeah.
those aren't
It's
happy days for
nostalgic,
me.
man. It's
But
nostalgic.
I brought up the same
Remember
like
the good
issues
days.
tonight on my show where they like are like, oh, and they're like the Mersh effect and all this shit, and I'm like, but they do like these guys do all their own separate shit, and you go in there and fuck their shit up. And I brought up like, for instance, the porcelain thing, which is like everybody's porcelain, whatever. But like porcelain's kind of slumming it nowadays with his current company because he's honestly now gotten to the point where he went full circle and he was like doing the Owen Benjamin thing. And
See, I
he
don't
goes,
know any of this behind the scenes shit, dude. I just know
It's like-
that Porcelain has always made good documentaries, and I know he doesn't like you, but I run
Yeah,
into
but
people like that all the
but we
time.
were-
So.
But the story was that like that's what I was bringing up earlier, and that's why I was going to bring you as an example. I use you as an example on the show tonight, where the whole thing with porcelain and kind of like Pod Awful was talking to Royce, I guess, on a recorded call that like where he admitted, oh, we were always going to fuck with Mersh, and it's like, all right, so you were our pals, so you could get in and fuck with Mersh, but like there was a time where the whole porcelain thing started with where he started hanging out in Pot Awful while they were doxing and swatting and like fucking with like when I lived at Royce's house. So they're like trying to fuck with me, but like fucking with his home or whatever. And we're like doing the whole thing. So then like I brought up the fact that I was like, all right, I was like, but like the porcelain fallout started when there was already a lot of bad shit happening to us. And then like porcelain people were like again like because I always go like Mersh is just stalking me, but I'm like I don't care about the internet. Once I clock out I go play video games. But like admins and people were like, yo, the scuttlebutt is like this is going on, and like porcelain was hanging out in Pot Awful and like the Unbleached and all these other shows that like suck, where they were trying to like stir me up, and he was in there like joining them, and I'm like, he was just on my show last week. So the whole thing started where one night on my show I was a little drunk, which I do sometimes. I don't know if you guys know I like a drink or two.
No, I've never seen that.
And
That's
somebody
preposterous.
brought up like on like the show he was on, and they were like, this guy's coming after you, and I'm like, yeah, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, and by the way, porcelain, don't think I'm like retarded and like you don't think you're trying to be cute and like going in there and like talking shit about me. And then that like the next day he had like a 20-minute video locked and loaded ready to bash me, and I was like,
Yeah, that
So
wasn't
on my-
made beforehand.
I
yeah.
think it goes
So like
back.
on my show, I brought that fact up and I went, all right, so let me like put this into perspective for our fans. Let's say that one day like AP said something on his show that like which he fucks. Dude, by the way, AP shit talks me all the time. I watch
Yeah.
the show all the time. He shit talks me constantly. So does Virgee. But like,
It's like
I
Rickles.
was like,
Gotta love.
let's say, I was like, but let's say, because they want to do, we're just having fun. Why are you getting triggered? But like, AP also knows, like, if like my cat died tomorrow of no fault of my own, like AP would be like, yeah, I'm not gonna make jokes about his dead cat.
I would make jokes about your dead cat. No, I would make
know,
jokes.
Virgee, but that's because
God.
you're still trying to climb the ladder. I get it. Like I used to do that too.
Oh damn! He just swatted the fuck.
This is
Man,
why
I really hope his cat dies. That's
This
fucked
is-
up.
This
No,
is why I
I-
used
I-
AP as an example. I was trying to, bring up somebody that was, up
I was
on
gonna
the
possess
level.
himself with a little bit of
but-
class.
No, but I was like, oh yeah, it was like AP.
All right, I'll
like,
just shut the fuck up.
but I was like, all right, like, but I didn't even say the cat thing. But I was saying, like,
No,
let's
it's-
say
it's funny.
AP said some shit on his show one day that legit bothered me, or
Right.
vice versa. And like, let's say one of us went on our show and went, yeah. And by the way, like, dude, like, I see what the fuck, because this is how the porcelain fallout happened, was from me one night saying, hey, and by the way, porcelain, like, I see you're hanging around with these guys too, so don't think you're fucking cute. Like, I see you talking shit, so like, just whatever, like, do what you want to do, but like, stop being cute and pretend to be my pal. That's all I'm saying. And it was like, because he was saying some crazy shit about me, and then like, I was like, here's the difference. Porcelain made a 20-minute video about me like the next day. Whereas if I said, oh, you know what, AP? Like, yeah, AP, you think you're fucking cute? You're going to make a joke about like my sister dying or whatever. You want to be funny about it? Like, I was like, the difference being is AP probably before he made a whole segment ragging on me, probably would have at least messaged me once and said, what do you think I said? Like, wait, whoa, like you seemed pretty pissed the other night. Like, what'd you like? What? And I could go.
That's a good
"Hey,
fucking
like, do you
point."
think blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
I'd hit you up
But,
and
like-
be like, "Hey, man, what's the hey dickhead? What's the beef?"
For the record, I wouldn't laugh at your sister dying, but a cat's a
Why,
cat.
none of my
Also, if
sisters-
I was to, when I make videos, I don't usually make them the next day, man. I like
Let
my
it
prey to
percolate?
marinate in
Yeah,
fear
of
for a
course.
while, like James, wondering what the fuck's up.
But
And then
if
sometimes I'll
so-called-
say random fucked up shit like, "Hey James, I know about your Grinder account," and then he'll be just refused to say my goddamn name, and I'll be like, "That's a hit, J13. That's a